Wait, so Ethan's old Reddit account was found right after beefing with Destiny? How crazy. He's had beef with Snark for years, but immediately after beefing with Destiny, his old Reddit account was found using the same method that was used to hack mine. I don't know who hacked mine for sure, but don't play stupid when I say I think it was someone from the DDG community. This isn't me defending Snark, by the way. Snark as well, smiley face. So the only reason why people knew, AB, that you were posting on that subreddit, because that was your account, right, which you admitted after people forced it out of you, but then you said, well, it was because it was hacked, is because you are also friendly to Snarkers. You said it over and over again. You had them all over your stream chat, and you literally said, I don't remember if it was on an H3 show or what, but you were like, oh, I think most of Snark is actually okay, except for like one unhinged person. You are actually a piece of shit. And also, the H3 community for doing this weird cringe they do, where they're like, oh no, like you can't criticize the crew or whatever the false. This AB dude is like Ethan shit up a lot, and a lot of the crew Ethan really hard on this show. Like, put the fries in put the manifesto in the bag, okay? You guys are the ones doing the research on all the hit pieces on me. You are the ones that literally hung Ethan out there to dry on the slightest ever that you could dig up on Kiwi Farms threads. You guys couldn't even watch the original videos that you handed this dude to roast me. Also, you could sit there and giggle that some pro-genocide Israeli supporter or predator or whatever the fuck, whatever you think I am, could go down. So, no, guys. These guys deserve a lot of criticism for that, okay? Yeah, that's all I'll say. You guys are really lucky to have the jobs you have. You guys are really lucky you still have the jobs you have. That should reflect more, I think, in your candor, I would say. Oh, he deleted that tweet also. Good job. Good one. Wait, did we ever make up a name for this? Did we make up a name for this way of debating? I'm tired. It's where somebody's like super hype and super excited to get into shit, and then as soon as it starts going bad, they're like, I don't know if I want to argue this right now, actually. Well, I don't know. Actually, I think that I'm not in the mood. This has gotten cringe now.
Destiny's commentary on the unfolding situation surrounding Ethan Klein's crew exposes layers of conflict, loyalty, and the dynamics of internet communities that most casual observers rarely consider. The interplay between content creators, moderators, and affiliated personnel in online networks is a fascinating mirror of human behavior, and in this instance, it reveals the complex interplay between trust, reputation, and the incentives that drive people in digital ecosystems. At the core of this situation is the question of accountability within content creation networks. When a figure like AB, an associated member of Ethan Klein's H3 podcast crew, interacts publicly and privately with individuals outside the inner circle, their behavior becomes both a reflection and a test of the larger organization's ethics. Destiny emphasizes that the conduct of crew members, particularly in situations where they act independently on social platforms or engage in questionable research, can inadvertently harm the reputation of the entire collective. The fact that AB's activity was revealed immediately following a public dispute with Destiny highlights how personal grudges and professional duties intersect online. The rapid unearthing of old accounts suggests a level of coordination, whether intentional or coincidental, that speaks to the vigilance required when managing one's digital footprint. The broader pattern Destiny identifies is the problem of insularity within creator networks. Crews often develop strong in-group mentalities, where loyalty to the collective is prioritized over accountability to the broader community or even objective reasoning. AB's defense strategies and attempts to obscure certain actions are symptomatic of a larger phenomenon where crew members prioritize protecting the brand or figurehead rather than addressing the ethical implications of their actions. This is particularly salient when these actions involve public commentary, research, or moderation decisions that directly affect how audiences perceive both the crew and outsiders. When a network prioritizes internal solidarity over transparency, the risk of betrayal, unintentional harm, or misrepresentation increases exponentially. The audience-critical eye toward the behavior of H3 crew members also highlights the tension between performance and responsibility in digital spaces. Online creators, particularly those with large platforms, often rely on intermediaries, friends, staff, and collaborators to manage research, moderation, or community engagement. This delegation of responsibility creates opportunities for misalignment of incentives. Crew members may act out of personal bias, loyalty, or even the desire for attention, rather than considering the ethical ramifications of their actions. The revelation of AB's involvement in subreddit postings illustrates how a seemingly minor decision, like interacting with a forum, can cascade into larger reputational consequences. Destiny underscores that these actions are not isolated. They are part of a pattern that reveals structural vulnerabilities within the crew's operational model. Moreover, Destiny's observations shed light on the broader culture of digital call-out mechanisms and audience manipulation. By analyzing the timing, method, and consequences of AB's online activity, he demonstrates how information can be weaponized to produce targeted outcomes, sometimes under the guise of community engagement or research. The digital ecosystem, particularly one populated by content creators and commentators, is rife with these dynamics. Audiences are mobilized, narratives are shaped, and reputations can be influenced before the full context emerges. Destiny's critique implicitly warns creators to consider not only the direct effects of their actions, but also the secondary and tertiary consequences that ripple through their networks and communities. Trust, as it's being pointed out, is a fragile currency in these spaces. The interactions between H3 crew members, their external allies, and critics like Destiny reveal the dual pressures of personal loyalty and professional responsibility. When AB's actions became public, the tension between defending the crew and acknowledging accountability became acute. Destiny frames this as a moment for introspection. Those with influence must recognize the potential consequences of seemingly minor decisions, and crews must understand that their collective reputation is built not just on the figurehead, but on the behavior of each member. A single misstep, or even the appearance of one, can undermine years of credibility. Furthermore, the commentary explores the performative aspect of online debate. He notes how individuals sometimes escalate conflicts, amplify narratives, or disengage mid-discussion to protect themselves, a behavior he describes as shifting from enthusiasm to sudden withdrawal when a conversation becomes difficult. This dynamic is emblematic of broader patterns in digital discourse. Participants often prioritize self-preservation or social positioning over constructive dialogue. The "I'm not in the mood" phenomenon, as Destiny frames it, serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of public discourse in creator networks. The ease with which participants can disengage or manipulate narratives points to systemic vulnerabilities in online communication, especially when moderated or amplified by affiliated staff. This also contextualizes this within the expectations of accountability from content creators. Audiences, moderators, and associated crew members form an intricate web of responsibility. When actions are taken behind the scenes, such as curating information, engaging with communities, or coordinating research, those decisions are inherently public in consequence, even if privately executed. AB's case exemplifies how an individual's decision, however well-intentioned or defensive, can inadvertently implicate the entire network. Destiny's perspective underscores that being part of a high-profile crew entails ethical obligations that extend beyond personal preferences or allegiances. The episode also illuminates the interplay between digital memory and reputational management. Old accounts, historic posts, and archive material can resurface in ways that disrupt contemporary narratives. Destiny highlights how AB's activity, contextualized through previous interactions and historical patterns, became a vector for critique. This underscores the importance of digital literacy and foresight for anyone operating within high-stakes online networks. Content creators and their collaborators must navigate a landscape where past actions are never fully dormant and where seemingly trivial online engagements can have disproportionate consequences.